Trump's Amazing Head by Gordon Chris. Published by Quadruple Boom Press, 2018. This is a work of fiction. Similarities to real people, places, or events are entirely coincidental. Chapter 1. Jefferson B. Sessions leaned near the water cooler, one foot propped against the corridor wall. The B stood for Beauregard, but in his mind, his middle name was J.E.T. Jeff the Jet. That's what all the pretty girls called him on campus. What a great nickname. He was a famous man now, the Attorney General of the United States of America, for heaven's sake. But in his mind, he was in his prime, back on the football field of the University of Alabama, playing for the legendary Bear Bryant. Not just playing, dominating on both sides of the ball. Jeff the Jet running for a touchdown. Jeff the Jet making a save and tackle on the goal line. Jeff gulped down the cold water, so clean and crisp on the back of his throat, then crushed the paper cup in his palm. He finger-rolled the cup into the trash can, then shot an impish grin at Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the portly White House press secretary who now stood before him. "I was one of the last two-way players," he told Sanders. "You know what that means, don't you? Bisexual?" "Haw, haw, haw," he drawled. Jeff knew she was kidding. He didn't consider Sanders attractive at all, but he knew she had a crush on him. Any port in a storm, right? So he continued with his bravado. "I played both running back on offense and linebacker on defense. Do you realize, Sarah, how incredibly difficult that is?" Sanders openly snorted out a laugh. "Jefferson, you are 5'3" tall. You weigh 120 pounds soaking wet. You want me to believe that you played college football?" "I did. I played for Bear Bryant, one of the greatest coaches to ever live." "You did not. I've seen your resume, your real one. You didn't play college football at the University of Alabama?" Jeff stomped his feet. He was angry now. Though 71 years old, creased and wrinkled like a cheap saddle, he could still work himself up pretty good. It didn't matter where, at home with his nagging wife, here in the White House, on the moon, wherever. He stomped his foot again for emphasis. "I played for the Bear." At that very moment, Eric Trump strode by, sucking on something stuck between his front teeth. He stopped in his tracks and arched his overgrown eyebrows, always a sign that a humorous zinger was forthcoming. "We all play for the Bear, don't we, comrades?" Eric waited, then bent over and slapped a knee. Sarah laughed politely. "Oh, Eric, you better not let your father hear you say things like that." "He's not even here," Eric whispered in Sarah's ear, flirting with her. "I checked his office." Jeff hated Eric. What a moron. As if on cue, Donald J. Trump, the legend, the gosh darned president of the United States, rounded the corner and wordlessly waddled past all three of them. "Good morning, Mr. President," Jeff groveled. The Donald made no response. 3 strides later, the president yelled back, "Morning, Toots," and "Get a haircut, Eric." Then he was gone. Rounded another corner, probably off to watch TV somewhere. Jeff stared at his shoes. They were nicely polished by the Negro who worked at his house. What was his name again? Eric suddenly socked him in the chest and guffawed. "He didn't even say hello to you." "You didn't even know he was here," Jeff retorted. Sarah wadded up her cup and tossed it in the trash. "Goal!" She gave Eric a high five and walked back the other way. Both men watched her large ass as it swayed to and fro under the bright calico of her homemade dress. "Would you fuck her?" Eric asked. "No, she's married." She's not married. Who would marry her? She looks like that hunchback from the Disney cartoon. I'm pretty sure she's married, Jeff continued uncertainly. I met her husband, I think. Whatever. Eric strutted off, then stopped again in front of the men's room. Daddy's mad at you, he yelled back at Sessions. You better watch your step. Eric grinned and pushed open the bathroom door. Dang it, Jeff muttered. He was dancing on his tiptoes, a turd poking out of his ass. He waited 5 seconds, then dashed towards the bathroom with as much dignity as he could muster. The front of the room was empty when he entered. One of the light fixtures in the ceiling was buzzing. One of the faucets dripped. Jeff stood there at the door, then stepped in quietly, still dancing just a bit. He wanted to figure out where Eric was and sit as far away as possible. Jeff stepped closer to the stalls, inclined his head and counted 2 occupants on opposite ends of each other. The one closest was Eric. The other, no clue. Jeff chose the stall in the middle. Though halfway out, this turd was stubborn, blocking a wave of diarrhea deep within his bowels. Jeff refused to make animalistic noises in a public toilet. He had dignity. He was a man of refinement, born of proud Southern heritage. From down at the end of the stalls came a high-pitched squeal. Jeff's ass clamped shut, the turd disappearing back inside. Was that a giggle? What man would be giggling in a White House lavatory? Then the giggle again, and a little girl's voice. I hate you. I hate all of you. I wish all of you were dead. It wasn't a man at all, or a little girl. It was the boy, Baron. Jeff had a certain amount of sympathy for the child, but he wished he would keep his tirades to himself. Jeff wanted quiet. He needed to defecate in peace. I wish somebody would just kill him, blow him up, the boy continued in his normal voice. Hey, shut up down there, yelled Eric. You shut up, yelled back Baron. Jeff just sat there and gulped, concentrating on the turd plug.